Good morning, techies and scientists. All right, I was just doing a quick mic check, making sure I can hear myself. It sounds like I can. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, doing this is like running a whole operation. You have to make sure everything is working correctly, making sure the sound is good and everything. So, yeah, here we are, Tuesday, November 5th. Man, the year go by fast. Really, really, really fast. All right, let me see if I can remove this banner, at least temporarily. How's everybody doing today? All right, so this week so far, looking at Nasdaq so far, it seems like it's been a little bit busier than I thought, or a little bit busier than I anticipated. I mean, especially yesterday, we had a big downswing down low, so I wasn't expecting that. But again, in this market, anything can happen. Okay, trying to make sure I got everything squared away here. All right, anybody has any question before I kind of do a little bit of breakdown from the high level time to the low level times? Okay, so I guess people are warming up coming through. So let me see. Hold on a second. I see. Okay. Still trying to get used to all these buttons. You can tell I'm a rookie at this. Alrighty. So let us do something here. I'm trying to find a graph. Yeah. All right. There we are. Okay. So, I did drop a prognostication video, I believe on Monday, and I did mention that there's a high probability that price may drop into this weekly fair value gap. Um, and it sure did. It delivered. Let me sure if I can zoom in a little bit more. Yeah. So again, this is what happened when I'm not doing an edited video. You get to see all the imperfections and all the clicking and adjustment. So bear with me here. So I've identified this weekly gap here, and price literally dropped into it. I'm trying to see if I can make this a little bit lighter so you guys can see. Okay, there you go. So price did drop into this weekly fair value gap, and it went past it and touch and slightly go below this weekly October 6th. I will say October 6th order block here. So as you can highlight here, and then after I touch it, I went back up, and all this happened between yesterday and today. So a quick drop below. There's no market crash. So far, I'm not seeing anything that's giving me any indication that the market is bearish. It could be, but I'm not seeing it yet. So, like I mentioned in my prognostication, the only time I will see or anticipate the market to be bearish if price literally drop below this line here. It'll have to drop way below this and then come back up and then stop somewhere around here and then resume lower. When it resume lower, that's when I'll know we're bearish. Until then, I'm going to assume that we're bullish and we're probably going to go sideways and we're probably going to go up. With that being said, when it comes to prognostication, and this is what happened when you will start before live stream, like everything just looked combobulated. And yes, I do have multiple screens. I am looking at several things at the same time. It can get a little bit dizzy, but if you would like to be successful, this is what you have to do. You have to kind of like navigate through multiple screens, making sure you can get a good reading so you don't get surprised by price actions, right? So looking at the VIX, it looks like we from yesterday until I would say right around 5:45 a.m. this morning, we had a lot of volatility, and it looked like this volatility has subdued, and it seems like it's gonna keep going lower. We'll monitor the situation, and it looks like the volume is picking up a little bit on the bullish side, and then the advance and decline. It looks like it's been declining for the past few days, I would say, slightly below that line, and now it looks like it's barely advancing and getting up. So it seems like things is kind of gearing up to go back higher. So we'll monitor the situation there. At the same time, dollar is going up, which could be problematic. Okay, so dollar is going up, and at the same time, it seems like Nasdaq and S&P is also trying to go up. I don't like the sign of this. I'm trying to see if I can find my seasonal tendency chart here. I mean, as you can see, I kind of go to the same scripts all over. Like this is how trading is supposed to be. Like very boring, very routine. You're going to the same thing over and over again. Um, it's the same setup, the same things you try to look at, same appreciation for the same risk. So this is what trading is about. If you think trading is exciting and you're looking for big home runs, you are going to be disappointed or you're going to lose your shirt. And you don't want any of those. Okay. So far from a seasonal tendencies perspective, how I've been doing, not too surprised there. It's not closely correlating or following the same trend, but it's kind of like almost very close, right? So we've reached that day. I can get that cursor to be right on it on 10/27. 10/27, I believe, was last week Friday. Nope, last week Monday actually. And yes, it was last week Monday, and seasonally, it looks like it usually will drop until the 28th. We did not get that, but it seems like the drop came in a little bit, couple days later, and now we're dropping. So I'm anticipating price will just like it's been dropping here. So the red line represent again over the past 20 years what the trend usually is. And this, the green one, is what is going on right now, currently. So that's why you see for the green part, you don't see any more lines, but for this one, there are more lines going into December. And as you can see, when it comes to the month of November all the way to December, it's always been going up. And you can sure bet that it's gonna keep going up, or at best, or at worst go sideways, is because there's been a lot of layoff. Usually that's when the layoff happens, when the fourth quarter begins. So the companies, they're trying to make themselves look good, and they're trying to make their operation looks good. And then the first thing they look at the balance sheet is the amount of people that they hire. So when company would like to cut costs, they don't invest much into R&D or trying to find a new product. That rarely happens. The first thing that they do is lay people off, and that looks good in the balance sheet. And when spring start again, that's when they do a little bit of hiring. Okay. And we kind of like go through this boom and bust cycle every year, every quarter, um, which is why people will say the market is rigged. I mean, it's rigged to do this like constantly. Okay, so that's my soapbox here. Let's see here. There's one thing I wanted to show. Yeah, so let us drop into the daily. See how we're looking on the daily. And I promise I will touch on gold very soon. So this is what it looks like on the daily. So the same gradient level that I had for the weekly, it got transposed into the daily. And it seems like there was a bullish order block. Bullish order block is pretty much you have a market structure where you had a low, a high, and a lower low, and price touch into that level here, which is, let me see. So when I put my cursor on here, I'm looking at the levels here. Okay. So market open here. What was the open? 25 to 87. The drop, it lightly touch the 287 level and went quickly back up, which is what I thought it would do, because I don't think price wants to go inside of that range. And by range, I mean this range right here. Mhm. So this whole range here from 25 to 87, well, more like 25, 386 all the way to 24, 173. I don't think price wants to go back into that range. Um, because once it goes inside that range and then it goes below 24,766, I mean, it's to me, it's game over. Okay. It's gonna go keep going lower. But now I think it's reacting nicely the way I thought it would. Okay. So my thing is I'm anticipating there will be a lot of sideways price action just like it did here. And it's just price got nowhere to go. It's just like I mentioned in a couple of videos. It's like a sprint. It's like you're running. Whoop, there's a big run. You sprint really fast, and then catching the breather, and then boom, a quick run. And then it's gonna keep going sideways, and then boom, keep going up again. So that's what I'm anticipating right now. Alrighty. Let's take a look. Let's take a look inside. Well, one more thing I would like to mention. Between the price level of 25, 394 and I say 25 to 80. If you look at the 1 minute level in this particular area, you will probably see a lot of back and forth. Again, whenever you see wicks, it's usually a lot of back and forth. But in particularly in this area, and I'm going to highlight it here, and then we'll drop into the lower time frame. So we are taking this level all the way down to here, and then we're going to analyze this area, see what it looks like. I'm anticipating there will be a lot of back and forth or a lot of consolidation. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, exactly. So we'll drop into the 1 minute. So that gray area that I talk about, this is the tip of it. So this is what it looks like. A lot of back and forth. And then punch back up. And then since then, it's been going up. So whenever, especially on the higher time frame, whenever, and I'm going back to the daily again. When you take a look at the daily time frame, whenever you see these particular areas, like you see a high and a lower high, or a higher like a high and then a higher high. Whenever you see these particular areas, especially if it's a breaker, you can anticipate there will be a lot of consolidation in that area. The same thing kind of apply here too. So you kind of like see two breakers. There's one here, and then there's also one here. So price was doing a lot of thinking, if you want to call that. So price will drop and we'll do a lot of consolidation, a lot more consolidation than you can take, and then it'll keep going back up. So if price is dropping, and if you did not get in any trade, if once it's dropping to that area, yeah, anticipate a lot of sideways price action. And I'm going to drop back again into the 1 minute, and then you will see what I'm talking about. And especially if there's a breaker in that area, you will see this. There you go. Oh man, where did it go? Nope. Yeah, it is right there. So that wick we're looking at on the daily, this is what that low end of the wick look like. And that happened during the Asian session yesterday. Yeah, I participated and I took some of the trades in that as well. Yeah, and just test it out. Take a look at any other daily time frame. So I'm gonna go back to another daily time frame and show you like test it out. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time because if it did, then the people that are in charge of this market, they will lose money because they know there are people out there like me who are looking at this stuff and they're like, yeah, we don't want to give them that kind of opportunity. So let's see, did price drop into this one? You know what? I think I'll just make a separate video, and then I'll highlight the different days where there will be like a breaker, and then price will drop into the breaker, and then you'll see the consolidation. If I just do it live, it'll look like a mess, and I will get you guys all confused. So I'll make a video where I can kind of cut and edit things. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the 1 minute to see what is price trying to do. So again, this week is non-farm payroll week. For me, usually right at around lunchtime, I usually will stop trading because as you can see, there was quite a bit of price action here. Price open up, and this is a change in market structure here. Let me make sure I highlight this. So there's a change in market structure. It went up. You got a body above it, and then it will trace lower into the small gap right here. Make sure I highlight this gap. So get into that small gap. So the moment you see this, and you get into the gap, and then the moment you see this, you know it's about to be bullish. And then it went up, we trace, and this is the weekly gap right here. Got into half or slightly below half of that gap, and then went back up again. And you will see a lot of sideways price action. So once lunch kicks in, you will see a lot of funny trades from lunch today all the way until Friday at 8:30. That means if the government data is not delayed, then we will see a lot of funky business. So there will not be a lot of smooth trading like this one. There will be a lot of sideways price action, and more than likely it will frustrate you. So if you're not very skilled on how to approach this market, then I would advise, just tread lightly. Okay. So you're gonna get a whole lot of pullback and back and forth. The reason why is because you have government data coming in on Friday. Why would the hedge fund put a lot of money into the market right now? So they are going to wait until Friday so they can put the money in the market and then start trading. Until then, they're just gonna hold everything in a pattern. Every now and then you get some burst, you get a quick drop or you get a quick market run, but it's not going to be sustained. It's just gonna be very short lived, and by the time you try to get in, it's pulling back against you. I mean, if you look at overall, yeah, you can take part of this. I mean, this is a nice little run here, but you don't know how long this is going to be sustained. That's my point. All right. So this is the same thing here. Just looking at different levels, and this is yesterday AM range, and this is yesterday PM range. So we do not have a inside range price action, meaning the AM is not, well, the PM is not inside the AM. So everything is kind of like staggered a little bit. And as you can see, once you get into that small little overlap between the PM session and then the AM session, what do you see? A lot of funky business. So let me make sure if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So if I can use my cursor. So this is yesterday AM range. It started at, it's between 25,894 and 25,661. Okay. And the PM sessions start at 25,689 and went lower. And that small little area right there, let me make sure I can highlight it and I'll put it in red. You are going to see a lot of funny business. And this is how sometimes I can see when the consolidation is coming. It doesn't happen all the time, but you just need to anticipate that going into it. So there's a small overlap between yesterday AM range and PM range. If it's like a big gap, you probably will not see that. But if it is a small gap and it's non-farm payroll and it's Wednesday before lunch, then you're gonna see that kind of price action. A small gap right here between the AM and the PM session. And look at that. I mean, the moment you get in, right inside of it, see, going outside of it, the inside of it a little bit, and it's just keep going back and forth. And this line right here, this green light is yesterday's first gap after 9:30. Okay. So you got all this gap you have to keep in mind. So this one right here is the new day opening gap yesterday at 6 p.m. Okay. This is that gap here, that yellow and the green one. And this gap right here, apologize. And this gap here is, I believe this is yesterday's PM first gap after 1:30 p.m. So this is that gap here. So you see, as everything is kind of like interconnected with each other. None of these gaps get wasted. None of them get thrown away. They are still here. Okay? So if I were to take a trade right now, uh, I would not have the appetite to take a trade right now. I mean, it's not doing anything that I would like to see. So it seems like the sideways price action came in a little bit earlier than usual. I mean, right now, I mean, with all these weeks, yesterday I dropped a short video that kind of described the key signatures for high resistance liquidity conditions. And this is one right here. So you, like I mentioned, you see wicks, see all these wicks. It's like things. It's like looking at a plant that has a lot of spine in it. It's just gonna poke you. So once I see this, I just can't take it. I just stay away. And then you have very little gaps. Everything is trading efficiently, right? So there's no area for you to confidently get in where you'll be able to take a quick trade and win. Very small gaps, trading efficiently. But the good news about this is once you see this, either up or down, there will be an exploding price action, right? So you just gotta know and anticipate where it's going to go next. But usually, this will tell you there's a big price action coming up. Well, one of my subscribers, I believe on the last live streams, asked me something about gold. And let's see if I can drop into gold and kind of like give you a quick synopsis on gold here. Really easy gains. Asked me what is my prognostication on gold. So I this is the weekly time frame. Okay. And reason why I use the weekly one is because on the daily there were so many lows you can easily get lost. And so I use the weekly because there are less candle, a lot less moving parts. So I use the weekly to kind of give me a better perspective on how to set up the Fibonacci. Again, like I said, the Fibonacci is not the end all be all. It is not the secret sauce, but it can definitely help. It's like a speedometer in your car. Okay, let's dive into it. So why did I use this low? I use this low because this one right here is when price go up, and then before all this candle, there were not any sudden big movements, right? So you have this drop price, and then boom, that candle on April 11, we have a big up candle. And I would almost say since then, no other candles dropped below half of it. It traded below it, but the bodies remain above that candle here. Let me make sure I can highlight it. So we have this candle right here. So it's more like of a, if you want to call it a support. So this candle is acting like a support. This is like a breaker, like a breaker on the daily. Okay. So somebody at some point at this level, somebody at some point, whether it's a big firm or a big hedge fund, they put the stop loss here, like I would too. They put the stop loss here and then they ride the price going lower. But as the new day start, the new day start here, a lot of back and forth, especially in this level, in this area. And price, bam, take out the stop loss right there at that level of 32.85. And then since then, price has been going sideways. The only time price break below or traded below half of that candle is with that candle. So to me, that candle is more significant than any other candles here. The next candle could have been more significant if we had a drop and then we had a long candle. Like if these two candle could have been just one candle, then yes, I would have put my fib right there below. But we had some very good ride here, but it's not significant as this one. So that's why I use that low right there. And And to confirm that this is the right low to put your fib, when you're looking at all these green candles that are going up, what do you see? Very small gaps. I mean, they are not that connected, right? Here, we have the bodies interlapping with this body. Okay, cool. We had a small one here as well. And then this one, we have a lot of bodies overlap. And let me zoom in a little bit more. So we have price come open up here, went up, again, price open up here, went up again. So that's on the weekly. So we're looking at the weekly time frame. So there are some overlaps here. But here, no overlaps. Definitely no overlaps. And this one price is just retracing lower. So with that being said, if there are overlaps, that means it's trading efficiently. If it's trading efficiently, that means it's at the 50%. So if I put my fib here to the highest high here, and my 50% is lining up with an area where price has traded efficiently, that means I had the fib location correctly. Okay. So yes, you could have dragged the fib to make sure that it's lined up with this one. But if I were to drag that fib from for the 50% to end up here, the low would have end up somewhere around here. I mean, let's give it a try and see. So we got the highest high here, and we had the fib. If we get the fib to line up here, okay. I mean, this is where the low of the fib will be. And I mean, would you trust your fibs to be here? Not really. So this is why I say using that Fibonacci right here, it's more than likely. All right, so once we have that figured out and we identified the area of efficiency, which is at the 50% here, and we have the right fib, the right low, the right high. Getting the high was easy, we can see that, but it's getting the lows was a little bit harder. What do you do next? Well, price usually tend to go from premium to discount. So right now we are at a premium, okay? And looking inside those weekly ranges, you can see there are some wicks here. Price opened up, wick a little bit higher, and then drop below that wick. Same thing here. Price opened up, get inside this lowest wick here, and did not even get above the 50%. Actually, it did not even get above the 50% of that weekly range right here. So it shows there's a lot of weakness for price to go lower. It dropped lower below the 50% here, and it's kind of keep going sideways, keep going back and forth here. So if you ask me, where's price going? More than likely, there's a higher probability gold is going to keep dropping, at least to the 3802 levels. Okay, this is where I anticipate the price to drop to. Right now, inside of that weekly range, the discount weekly range, it's still at a premium. So I would still, if I were to short, I anticipate to short when it reaches around 39.73, and then to short it to go much lower than that. So that's my prognostication here for gold on the weekly basis. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you here. I'm about to compare on the weekly basis on the daily time frame these areas that are traded efficiently, which is for the week of September 5th, and September 12th, and the week of September 26th and October 3rd. So I highlighted those here, and I will show you the difference, why I picked this one. So let's drop on the daily. See, now you notice which part is more traded efficiently. this side here where you see a whole lot of candle clustered within each other, or this one. There's a lot more candles that are clustered within that box here than this box. So this area right here is traded more efficiently than this area right here. So another confirmation on the daily, mind you, that shows you that yes, the fib is at the right level. All right, so dropping to the lowest level here for gold. So this is the weekly gradient for the discount week. What do we see price do? Price keep going up inside of that wick. Even that wick itself, you can kind of like grade it as well. Let's see if I were to go short, I would use this line right here and start going short on the daily. Okay. Where's the 50%? Uh-oh. Okay. So right now on the daily, as you can see, they have a big drop, which is right here. Uh, this is a break in market structure and price trying to return inside that gap, and nah, did not happen. So let me highlight what I'm talking about here. So we have this gap. Price is so weak, could not even get inside of that gap. Drop, another drop. It's gonna keep going up, and then it's gonna drop one more time. So let's see if we can take a quick execution here. So this is the discount premium. I mean, this is the discount of the week here. That the week on the daily, and we're looking at price. Looks like it's trying to muster the courage to go up, and I highly doubt that is going to make it. So I'll put a sell order here. Actually, let me put the sell order right here and see how we pan out. So this is all the stuff that you have to do, all this breakdown that you have to do. And even if you do all this breakdown, you can still get it wrong. And you know why you can still get it wrong? Because we have a relative equal high here. So this high is lower than this high, and this high is lower than this high. There's a high probability that price may go all the way up here and go all the way up to this level here, which is 39.97. And then once you get on that price level, 39.97, then it start going back much lower. Now that we are using RSI, this is another confirmation where you can try to see if you can go short. Okay. So looking at this RSI below here, you have an overbought here, and you have an slightly below overbought here. But if you're looking at these two overbuy areas, looking at them, even though this area that's overbuy or overbought, if you wanna say it like that, even this area is overbuy, it's much higher. Well, this one also is much higher, right? But in this area, the overbought is lower, so there is some kind of divergence. That's a high. That's a high, lower high, high, higher high. So when you see that kind of price action, this is another confirmation for you to go short using this relative equal high that is next to this. I'm gonna make sure I repeat it again. When you have an overbought at price action here, normally in a normal world, ideally, what you would want is, let me see, hold on a second. I think I just saw something pop on my screen. Okay, never mind that. So normally, if you see a overbought signal here, and this one make a higher high, it should be a higher overbuy, right? So the RSI should be much higher here, but it is not. It keeps on dropping. So if it keeps on dropping and price keep going higher here, that means it's weaker. Your area of opportunity, if there is a relative equal high next to it, is to place your steel stop here, which is what I attempt to do here, right here. But you know, just because it repeated it here doesn't mean it's gonna do it again. So we just gotta wait and see. And this is part of what I said gold is highly manipulated. I mean, look at it. It just keep going sideways. I mean, at least with Nasdaq, you get some good price action run. But for this one, it's mostly like, oh Lord have mercy. Yeah, it's a lot of tight range, a lot of tight range, a lot of short runs, and even when you get a good decent run, it's still a lot of overlaps. You know what I mean? Except this area right here, which is where I see we had a very decent run. This area right there. That's the area I see that we have a relatively decent run. But other than that, everywhere else is just been like, oof. And that's a significant drop here. I mean, even that one, it make you grind your teeth. I mean, it's look at it. And then once you get here, you have all this consolidation and then a small run. Like it's a lot of manipulation. That's why I said gold is a highly manipulated market. Doesn't mean you cannot trade it. It's just that it's a lot of teeth grinding. You just gotta wait, and it doesn't get to your signal. I mean, even here, when you have a divergence in your RSI, it didn't even get. I mean, if I had put my short signal here, it would not take the trade because I would have put it right on top of here. Let's see, yep, I would have put it right on top of here, and I don't think it reached that far up. See, boom, I would not be able to get in. I would have been locked out. So I'm anticipating there's going to be a lot of resistance because of the way this structure is set up here. Let me see. I'm gonna try to see if I can improvise on my trade here. I mean, all the markets are highly manipulated, but gold particularly is manipulated. Let's put it on the 2 minutes. See if we see anything different. Yeah, I mean, there are no pockets. I can see that. Okay, let me get in. Give me a few seconds. I will be right back. So in the meantime, let's try to see if price can get to that level here for a short. I mean, yeah, look at the mountain of frustration. Yeah, you really have to be patient with gold when you're dealing with gold. So let's see how we're doing here with Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq is not any better. Yeah, it's a trash market. And this is what I mean by teeth grinding, right? So look, it gets in there, it acts acting like it's going lower, and then you just gotta sit and wait, and it's just not going anywhere. The best thing to do at this point is to assume that you will probably lose that trade and put it in the best area where there's very little retracement, meaning which are the highest high or into this gap here, and then just walk away. If you're looking at this, and then obviously do not use a lot of leverage. Um, yeah, so at this point, just put it in and then just walk away, because if you're gonna keep looking at it, and then if you have compulsory behaviors, you're gonna want to change your mind, and you're gonna do a lot of things that it's not going to be good for you. Yeah, so for me, it's very difficult to see what is it is trying to do exactly. I mean, if you ask me, it will go up first, and try to unsit any traders that are here. But I mean, when is it going to do it? Yeah, we don't know. This is what I would want to see. I would want to see it go up first, unsit any stop loss here, and then go lower. But I'm not sure if it is going to do that. Yeah, this is high resistance liquidity conditions. There's no real pocket for you to get in. Everything is extremely difficult. Let's see. So we got a 2 minutes here. Yeah, like if you're looking at it, it could go up, it could go down, it could go either way. And then you may think, okay, it's gonna go up, unsit all the stop loss here. Next thing you know, it goes up and then plunge. This is when you're like, oh my lord. But looking at another screen, it seems like Nasdaq is picking up some steam to go up. Yeah, and gold, I'm not sure what it's doing here. All right, so I think there's another. While we're letting this thing brew, let me see if I can show you another example that I saw earlier of an inside day range. Oh, that it is. Yeah, we're just gonna let it do its thing here. All right, so this is what I mean by inside range. I think do you say inside day, but it's not necessarily related to a daily range, but it's more like an inside range. So the inside range for this one is, I believe this was, yeah, it was Monday, October 27. So we have the daily range here. It was at 9:02, made a high here, drop, okay, and make the lowest low here for the AM session right here. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. Right there. And remember earlier I mentioned if there's an overlap between the ranges or lack of overlap, there might be some sideways price action. Mm. Yeah, there's one right here. If you look at this over here and that over there, even though it's not an overlap, but the small gap here, there's your sideways price action here. But anyway, what I wanted to highlight is that you have next on the PM session, which it really started at let's see here. Started at around 1:30, but the highest high was made around 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we had the lowest low at around right before market close at 4:54. So this PM session here is inside of that AM session. So when I see this, what I say to myself is at some point, whether it's at the Asian session or at London session, or if it's at New York session, and that apply for gold as well. At some point, there's going to be a huge price action lower. It's going to be significant. Now, the exception about this one, or I would say lack of exception about this one, is that before it actually run lower, it clear all the buy stops. Anybody that had a stop loss or buy stop here, it clear them out first and then go lower. Yeah. I mean, the manipulation is well on this one. So that's usually what happened. And as you can see, once it cleared out this buy stop, I mean, it was a run for the hill. And it went lower and lower and lower. I mean, it was already predisposed to go lower, but it needed an excuse to go lower. So it kind of cleared this high. And that high right there is also at a premium for the AM session. So you always have to watch out for the time. What is price? What is the price pattern on one certain time? Right. So that's very significant as well. What are those times? Seven usually is around 7 a.m. all the way until I'll say noon. That's for the AM session, and then for the PM session is anytime after 1:30, between 1:30 and 4. And for the Asian session, it's normally around I'll say 6:50, between 6:50 and 10 p.m. It's all Eastern. And then you have London session, which is at 2 all the way also until 6. Yeah. But usually the kill zone is between 2 and 4. But that in that session from two to four, I'll say from is it 2 to 6 or 2 to 4? I think 2 to 6. That's that time. And then that's when the New York session start like around 7 a.m. again. So kind of like use that time and rotate it around. And then what you want to see is how is price behaving around those range. And by range, I mean the highest high and the lowest low within that time frame. So for the PM session, is the highest high at 2 p.m. at 2:06 p.m. and the lowest low at 4 p.m. Eastern. So that's that range. How did price behave around that? Went up, cleared the buy stop, and went much lower from that one. Okay. So I wanted to bring that up really quickly. Well, we'll let this one stew in a little bit. Yeah. So what do we have here? Okay. So I guess I had this one wrong. All right, let me see if I can do a quick reverse. Try to see if I can capitalize on the gain here. So it ended up doing what I thought it would, but I was just on the fence around price being in that area right there. See if I can buy one more here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go that high. So I do not have that much hope that it's just gonna get here, and then whatever is left out of this one, I'll just trail the stop loss. I mean, me, if I wasn't live streaming, I would not get involved in this trade at all. I would have stayed away, stay clear away from it. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a pile of garbage. Wouldn't be me. But anyway, yeah, I would have, go cut the grass outside. I would have been doing something else, and I would just, yeah, stay away from it. But I believe now that we're looking in retrospective, the probably the best area to get in would have been in this sliver price. But I don't think I was in on the trade yet. Yeah, I think I went short here, and yeah, it came in that area right before I took that short here. Again, what I would like to see is for price to go higher, clear those buy stop here, and then roll over lower. That's what I would want to see. Yeah, I mean, again, there are times you just gotta just stay away from it, even if you're skillful. Like you, it's just going to be adverse against you. Let's see if I can put one more since we're in that spirit. And this can go sideways for the rest of the day. There's no limit on the amount of time on how long this can go sideways. And look at here. Started to go sideways at 2:26 a.m. All the way until 7. Man, that's 5 hours of sideways price action. I mean, leading you nowhere. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a patient of steel. Actually, patient of a gold to trade gold. I mean, especially before non-farm payroll. Yeah. So initially, reason why I took a short is because there's a bearish fair value gap here. I wanted to go short because it seems like it make a high, failed to make another high, failed to make another one. So I'm thinking it's gonna go back in here to go short. Apparently, that's not what happened. It ended up picking a lot higher. Then I reversed, and it seems like now maybe it's trying to muster the courage to go up. What I'm anticipating is that at some point it's going to get very animated. I'm thinking right after 11:45. I'm anticipating that it's going to clear this stop, clear that stop, and then once it clear those stops here, it's gonna start rolling much lower. If it's as bearish as I thought it is. And then you have to think of this like it's a predator, right? Because the whole goal is for them to make you not profitable. Just like I have this my stop loss here, there's a lot of people that have the stop loss right here, right here, right here somewhere, like on all these lows. Somebody got the stop loss here. It's going to clear the stop loss of people who have the stop loss right here, clear them out, and then it's gonna start chasing my stop loss after that. And what I mean by stop loss is this one. See this STP stop loss is going to chase it at some point. Once it clear those highs, it's gonna go back lower, chase for it, stop me out. And which is why I preach about getting partials, even if it's very small. Get your partials, even if you get one, just get one, get a quick one under your belt and take it out. I mean, especially when the environment is so challenging like this, you want to make sure that you take a partial. I mean, what is a partial? Whether you move 10 points, 5 points, you take a little bit to cover your commissions at least, right? So I'm big on taking partial. I mean, some people may say, yeah, take the full pull, and then they have the ego attached to it. Man, there's no ego involved here. We're all trying to make some money, make some points, or have a better understanding of the market. What you need to do is grab your partial and at some point trail your stop loss. Not too tight, but good enough so that you're not on the negative. Now I'll say my weakness is managing the stop loss. That's my weakness on this one. My weakness is to manage it, making sure that it's not too tight because when my experience, what I've seen is there were times I leave the stop loss right here and it will take some of my partials and then it will trade like it would really collapse. And then all the gains that I make here with the partials and everything, all gone. Which is why I'm so big on trailing it because I don't want to erase all these gains that I've done on top here. And that's based on my experience. You can call it trauma. That's okay. But yeah, do you trust this? I mean, look how it's moving. I mean, do you trust this? This is going to go to your level? Me personally, no. I don't trust it. Is it gonna get there eventually? How long? Forever. More than I can take it. So, which is why normally I would avoid it. I mean, the best spot to go long, if you can, obviously, if you can look at this, is right on there. Where's the 11:45? Let me make sure I highlight the point of 11:45. It looks like it's getting a little bit more animated way before that. So between 11:45 and wait, yep, 11:45 and 12:15, that's when you'll see I'm anticipating all these stops to be taken out for profit. Let's see, right before lunch. It might drop lower one more time, but we'll see. So these two lines is usually the area where you will see a little bit more action. Okay. And let's see if we can find other ones. So where's the 10:45? 10:45 is right here. Yeah, sometimes outside of it, even if you miss out, that's okay. And that's how I was able to call it trash because There was no real movement here in that time frame that would tell me it's going to go lower to go higher. I mean, it's just going sideways. Look how hesitant it is to just get to that level. And we're not talking about much here. We're talking about 4 points. Look how long it's taking. These are my favorites right here. Yep, right at 10:45, right at 11:40. Let's say 11:46 because it's 2 minutes. Right at 11:45, you see the movements. So if you had any doubt about my theory on 10 or 45 minutes after the hour or 15 minutes before the top of the hour that there are some price actions, here's the proof. Let me drop to the 1 minute. See? Look how like it's been falling asleep, some movement here, and then now you start seeing some animation on top. All right, at 11:45. Well, more like 11:46. All right, so usually what I would do here, show my stop loss here, because what you can see happen, it may quickly pick it up and then like just really fall off the bed right here. I've seen it happen before. It's like a quick zap. So boom, took it and then just fall really quickly. Okay, so this is the time frame we're talking about, right before lunch, 15 minutes before lunch. So lunch is at 12 noon, right in the middle here, and 15 minutes before lunch, 15 minutes after. And it's really going for it. See that? Okay. Just like I thought. Now, is it gonna go higher? We'll wait and see. So it's not overbought yet. And again, this is what I mean by this is my weakness. Like, yeah, I will trail the stop loss really tight. um, yes, because I've seen areas where it seems like it goes going up, hit your target, and then it will fall really quickly. And then everything you had was for a loss, even without one contract. Yep. But I leave as far as stop loss management, I'll leave that up to you to figure out how you can work it out. Some people may just choose to do break even. Some people may say, okay, no stop loss. I mean, if you're trading with no stop loss at all, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. You are very brave if you're trading with no stop loss at all. I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah. So now that it really clears above this highs over here, and I think in the next high as well. Yep, above all both of them. This relative equal highs and relative equal highs. Um, I'm anticipating that it will start chasing the stop loss that are here. Remember the previous stop loss that I had here? Um, some people took it out. I mean, like I took my stop loss out, but some people still have the stop loss here. So it may at some point come chase down those stop loss that are here. I mean, this is what this does. It's just a stop loss hunter. So anybody that had the stop loss here, they are out. If you didn't, if whoever went short from here, if you didn't take a partial, you toast. Even if you have one contract, if you went, let's just say you went short here, at least trail it here. At least trail your stop loss right here, and once you clear those highs over here, anticipate price to come back up again. See, I mean, it may end up going much higher and not chase the stop loss at all. That's what you want to see, but I wouldn't put my money on that. Yeah, those high over here, it looks too tempting. Yeah, they're gonna go for this. Yeah, I would definitely hunt for those. Why not? They're in the way. Yeah, if there was any doubt people have stop loss here, they definitely have a stop loss here. 40.11. A lot of people went short here. I know I would have went short somewhere around here, and I would have had my protected stop loss right there, and it's gonna go for it. Why I think it's gonna go for this high right here? It's been spending a whole lot of time going sideways. So it went low, got close, lower low, went low again, and then it's been mustering the strength to go higher. And then you have this relative equal highs that are up here. Yeah, it's gonna juice up to go there. Again, this is the part where I say my weakness in the trading. Everybody got their weakness. It's trailing the stop loss a little too tight. And now it's going up and I'm losing on all these gains. But that's okay. My next area probably to get in is to wait for it to drop a little bit lower, because if it's keep dropping like this, it's gonna drop again. And what are the anticipated area that I think it can get in to go long again? Yeah, I would aim for these relatively core highs, or maybe in the 50% of this, and then deal with all the retracement. But let's see. Mm. And I think I'm getting close to close the live stream here. Thank you everyone who join in and join out. So appreciate you. Thank you for clicking the like buttons. I appreciate it. And then hopefully this was a little bit helpful. Yeah, I know, my channel is not for the newly beginners who don't understand those price book. It's mostly for people who understand the market and how it works. But there's a little bit tweaks here and there. You don't fully understand things that bothers you a lot, like this particular areas. When there are some questions that you have, like when is it going to be difficult to be in the market? How to avoid difficult spot, like the roadblocks. So this is where my channel comes in. You already have some experience, but there's a lot of tips and tricks you would want to know that's going to help you with your trade. Then this is where my channel comes in. Which is why I kind of like diving right into the market structure and then the Fibonacci and all that stuff. Because if you don't know what Fibonacci is, then you probably have to watch another channel on how to use it. That doesn't mean I will not make any videos about it, but this is where I started. So I will probably make dedicated videos on the different levels within Fibonacci and how you can use that. Um, You can also use Fibonacci to predict times, particular areas, right? Where you can see price may reach a certain area. So time extension. So we got this one. Let's see. Where's the lowest low? Right here. Where is this level? Where's the confirmation? So right then and there. So you have a relative we call high here, and we have a low here, and we have another confirmation right here that price is going to go up. Now, if you're trying to decide when the market is going to get there, this is your time Fibonacci extension. Okay, when it's going to break that high, so it can do it either in this time. Let's see, which is at 10:35 a.m. It can do it. It can break over there at 11:14, or it's gonna break it there at 11:53. So it kind of gives you a probability area or zone where price may reach there. And the more price action sideways that you have, the longer it's gonna get extended out, obviously. So if price is going to, there's just that this is where the confirmation. What I mean by confirmation is that you have a break in market structure, and then price failed to make a lower low, and it keep going higher. The closer it is to that 50%, the more the market is going to try to reach that level that it was there before. And this works well when you have a market that has a symmetry like this one. Okay. So this is what I mean by those little bit tips and tricks, that can help you along the way. So and I will make a couple of videos about that one, but I need the like and the subscribe to go significantly higher, man. So let's hit those likes, share, like, subscribe to other people, and then making sure that we can have more people joining in. And then once I have those, then I will share a lot more information. There is a sea of information that I can share with you, and this is just one of them. Okay, I'm not a big fan of indicators, but you can use them. Why not? It can be good use of them. With that being said, I don't see any questions on the live chat. It's again, hopefully I was able to answer your questions about gold. And with that being said, let me make sure I can take it back into a higher time frame. So to me, this is what my prognostication looks like for gold right here. What time is it going to get to? I hope it doesn't get to nowhere near 3802. But this is probably the area I'm anticipating that it may retrace into and then go higher. I mean, come on. If it retraces to 3802, I would be furious. I anticipate gold to go to 4,800 by end of the year. I mean, how is it going to muster the strength to get there? Anybody's guess. And that's why gold is manipulated. Again, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Happy trading.